like that. Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was walking through Berlin Airport in Germany, and I saw one of them on a display stand. And it caught my eye because I hadn't seen one in the flesh before, because it hadn't been launched in the UK at that point. And then literally the next day, I got invited to this range day today by BMW UK, where they have a whole range of different all-electric vehicles for us to try and get our hands on. Because that's the new all-electric 5 Series, the i5. We first saw the 5 Series in 1972, making it 51 years old, the same age as me, and we've both aged like a fine wine. This 8th generation 5 Series finally joins the all-electric BMW lineup with the i5. For me, it's the best looking and least jarring car from BMW over the last few years. The front grilles have no vents and sit nicely into the front end design. This i5 eDrive40 has 250 kilowatts, or in old money, 340 horsepower, and will hit 62 miles an hour from rest in just 6 seconds. I think this rear 3/4 view is my favourite angle of the car. It's very much 5 Series to look at, although compared with the outgoing model, I think the boot lid just slopes down a little bit more. I like these thin lights here, and then underneath, clearly you've got no exhausts out the back, but there's some nice kicks and flicks and sort of diffuser-esque styling under there, which I just think makes the back end of the car really interesting to look at. And then this particular car has this nice little carbon fibre lip spoiler on there. Sets it off a treat. Now, it's nice to review an EV that's not an SUV. In fact, it's a saloon. The really exciting i5, though, comes next summer. They're going to do an i5 touring. Yep, you heard it, an electric estate car. There are so few of those on the marketplace. I think they're going to sell like hotcakes, and I cannot wait to see that one. But let's live with this one for now. Let's jump inside. Now, little bits of styling I like as well. You've got this little 5 just here. Makes it look a bit like a Thunderbird 5. But yeah, the rear looks nice in here. Now for me, 5 Series, it's got to be a great car to drive, but it also has to be a great car for the passengers. That's the whole point. That extra little bit of size gives the rear seat passenger more room. And it's not too bad. This seat is as far back as it needs to be for me as a driver. If you don't follow the channel regularly, I'm 6'3" and I've got very long legs. So it's always a good test. I can get my feet underneath the seat, and there's these little indents in the back of the seat, which means my knees don't touch the back of the seat, and it's comfortable. I've got plenty of headroom, even though I've got a nice pan roof, but that makes the cabin lovely and airy. I've got my own touch screen climate controls. I've got heated seats, plenty of places to plug stuff in for power, a couple of USB chargers in the center, one on the back of each seat. It's nice in here, really nice. And I could see myself doing a long journey. I'm gonna pull the center mat down somewhere to put my drinks. Yeah, very nice. Now, one of the big things that BMW focus on now with their all-electric fleet, the powertrain's super important, but the kind of use of digital technology, especially in that curving screen, we'll talk about that in a moment. And then also sustainability. So a lot of the materials used in this car, there are sustainable options. You can have vegan leather if you don't want nappa. There's even a material used in some of the cars that is made of recycled fishing nets, would you believe? But that sustainability element is really, really important, and I like that. But let's jump in the front and talk about the digital side of things and also the electric drivetrain side of things, because there's plenty to discuss. Now, first up, it's got the ubiquitous BMW curvy screen, now running operating system 8.5. I believe. Now, this review is not going to be so much about that bit of tech. I really need to live with a car a little bit longer to do that, but don't worry, I've got an M3 Touring coming in a couple of weeks' time, and that will give me a really great opportunity to kind of live with that screen and work out its pros and cons. The rest of the layout I like a lot. I like this central binnacle. I like the fact I've got a rotational controller for the screen, as well as it being touch screen. I've got a couple of charge mats for 2 smartphones. I like some of the trim. I like this kind of gloss carbon fiber. I'm not a fan of this kind of crystal strip that runs all the way around. In the nighttime or in low light conditions, it looks amazing, and the way switches have been integrated onto it looks amazing, but it's just not for me. I'm not a fan. Now, in terms of drivetrain and so on, it's got an 81.2 kilowatt hour battery, but the 2 really interesting things for me, first up, it supports very high speed charging. So this will support up to 200 kilowatts charging. And that means that you can stop for 15, 20 minutes and get a significant amount of miles onto the range. But also, they've got a plug and play charging option. So at the moment, it's just with Ionity. And again, if you're a Tesla owner, this is no great news, because Tesla have been able to do this since they started. But you don't have to have an app on your phone or a little RFID card. You just set up an account with the car. With Ionity, when you go there, you plug the car in, it recognises the car, it charges the car, it bills your account, and you're on your way. And you'll be able to have up to 5 different accounts with different charge network providers set up. As I said, at the moment, it's just Ionity, but there are other providers that will come on stream very, very quickly within the next few weeks, months. I like that because that makes the ownership experience super easy. And I think we forget sometimes, BMW have been in electric cars for 10 years. The i3's been around a long time. And it's funny, you look at i3 and, I mean, it still looks new and edgy now, and they don't make it anymore. When it came out 10 years ago, it was just groundbreaking design and styling, and arguably maybe a little bit early for the brand. Now we spring forward to today. This is one of the last BMWs in the range to be electrified, the 5 Series. So let's take it for a drive. I don't have it for a great deal of time. Now, what I can't comment on in this short drive is range and efficiency. At the moment, the car's showing 98% battery and a range of 254 miles. I'm pretty sure there's an element of that. It's a press day with journalists. I think 300 miles range is there or thereabouts what BMW quote for this car. I think that's achievable in warm conditions. Clearly it's going to change a little bit in the winter, although there is a range extend mode now in this. So if you are running low on power, you can go into a special setting and it basically optimizes the car to give you an extra an extra amount of range to get you to that range stop, which hopefully we won't need today. Anyway, let's get some cameras set up and go for a drive. Ooh, I love the noises that have been engineered for electric cars to make them more interesting. They always sound like spaceships. So I've got a short route just to experience the new i5. First up, driving position, very good. What I love about it is I love a steering wheel that comes really nice and close to me, and it's in a really nice position. Really good visibility. I've got a mega head-up display, and in this short route, it's just enough for me to get an inkling, a little flavour of the car. So we'll head up. Now we've got a mix of town roads and roundabouts, and then the route does have a little bit of bendy, twisty stuff that we can go and have some fun on, hopefully. The all-electric 5 Series range starts from £74,000 for this i5 eDrive40 M Sport and goes up to the i5 M60 xDrive from £97,745. Although once you start ticking some options, both of these prices I'm sure will increase significantly. There's also a plug-in hybrid and petrol drivetrain option. I am a bit of a nightmare when I come on these range days because I always head for the fastest, most expensive one because they're the ones I really enjoy driving. And I'm an idiot really, because don't get me wrong, there's a market for those cars, and I'm sure many of you are interested in what the M60 would be like. But this is the car that most people are going to buy. Now prices start from £75,000 there or thereabouts, and then obviously you can put some spec on it. But this car isn't going to be so much about out and out pace and, you know, sporty feel. Although I tell you straight away, even though I'm still in a 30 and 40 limit, it's got plenty of go in it. The owner of this car is likely to be much more interested in usable range. They're likely to be much more interested in rapid charging, nice technology. One of the big things, we had a bit of a briefing this morning, a big thing that BMW worked really, really hard on with their operating system 8.5 is the integration of the in-car technology with your personal technology, with the stuff that you would want on your phone. Yeah, this car's not slow. It's definitely not slow. This car is going to put a smile on your face on your way home from work, absolutely guaranteed. And I know I didn't like that crystal strip around it, but I tell you now, it's got this really cool blue glow to it, blue hue. I like that a lot. So I'm going to go into sport mode, I think, just to feel that extra bit of zip, an extra bit of punch. Nice colour change to all the screens. So that bit of squirt I gave before, that was in normal mode. First thing, they've increased the volume of the electronic noises. I've got a different head-up display now as well, kind of showing where my power is coming out. I've now only got a tiny little indicator of where my route guidance is, and that strip around now has got red hues to it, just to give me that feeling that I'm in something a little bit more punchy, a little bit more sporty. It's got a nice amount of regen. Just to lift off the throttle before I go to the brake, it's regenning quite a bit. I've got some paddles on the back of the steering column that allow me to select my sport regen mode, I guess. There's lots and lots and lots of stuff going on the screen. Sport boost. Oh, I thought that was a regen paddle. It's not. It's a sport boost button. Ah, oh, need some of that in my life. Hold on a minute. Oh. Oh, that's a good idea. So that gives you some extra oomph if you want to overtake something. You can tell the person who's not read the full press pack before they get in a car. I'm not a fan of doing that sometimes. I quite like to get in a car and judge it as I see it, not really get too hung up on all of the press bump. I want to make my decisions about a car. And that's great for feel, but sometimes for kind of modes and so on, you either miss modes that it's got because you don't know they're there, or you're not quite sure what exactly they're doing. The only problem with that boost mode is you just want to be pulling it all the time because it only gives you 10 seconds of boost. It's like, well, okay, can I just have that all the time? I know that can degrade your battery quite a lot, but it's good fun. Bendy roads for the next half a mile. Let's just try and... Now, steering feel wise, as we just put it into some of these twisty corners, it's got a weight to the steering, but actually it's nice and not a massive amount of feel, but certainly progressive. And when you do get on the gas and you come out of a corner, it's got that punch, that, see, that this is what you want, right? Absolutely mega. One thing it has got though is it's got the speed bong thing. I know that's EU legislation now. I think new cars have to have it, but it's mighty annoying. I can turn it off, but I need to go into there and I'm driving and I'm not entirely sure whereabouts in the menu system it is to turn it off. Let me see if anyone's set a shortcut. hide previous information, do not disturb, notifications. I wonder if it's in notifications. Speed warning. Oh, here we go. Speed warning can be activated, deactivated. Bang.
You can activate and deactivate the speed limit warning by long pressing the set button. You can find the set button on the left side of the steering wheel, or just say deactivate the speed limit warning. This function will, however, be reactivated every time you start the vehicle for legal reasons.
There we go. Done. Means I can go fast now. Love this car. I love it already. I really like the i4 when I drove that, which must be 18 months ago, maybe longer than that, maybe 2 years ago. Similar kind of event that BMW are holding today. And it's just so nice to drive an electric saloon car that's you sat down and you're not up in a big SUV, you're just in a normal car. I like that a lot. Yeah, I like the boost button appeals to my inner child. I guess the main use for it, the most useful thing it can be used for is overtaking, is to get you past someone really, really quickly. But yeah, I like that a lot. It's quite cool. But I did think it was a regen button on the back of the steering wheel, and then noticed it's got a massive sign that says boost. From a ride quality point of view, very impressive. You've got a range of different wheel sizes, but the wheels that are on this car, it's just got a really nice feel to it. It's firm, but it's compliant enough to take the bumps out. And these seats, again, they're firm, but they're comfortable. And you just get a feeling that this car would be really nice for a long journey. So, short test drive, I know, but what are my final impressions of the new BMW i5? I get the feeling that BMW are getting their head around this all electric thing, and every generation that they bring out, every new electric car that they bring out is better than the previous one. And they've got some 5 or 6 new electric models coming over the next 12 months or so, and the ones that are coming next year, oh wow, they look really, really smart. I mentioned the i5 Touring already, but I think we've got some really exciting stuff coming out of BMW and of Mini. So I've been talking to the guys today, and there's some really cool stuff. Mini's they've been so quiet the last 2 or 3 years, really just refreshing a model with a special edition or a new paint job. They've got some new cars coming, and I'm really looking forward to driving them. But the i5 hasn't disappointed at all. I would like to spend more time in it, if I'm honest, just to get my head around really living with the car. You know, the challenge with these quick press routes is you don't really get time to fully get your head around the car. You need to go on a long journey. I need to sit in this car for 2 or 3 hours. I need to deplete the battery down to 20% and go and take it for a charge. But I can do that, and I'll do that. I'll get a press car. But for now, the instant impression is it's a very, very impressive package. I think the external looks, I really like the aesthetics of the car. It's probably the least jarring BMW that we've seen for the last couple of years. I think we've got used to the grille at the front, but I just think the lights, the rear 3/4 view, I like a lot. And then the interior just has a feel of real quality, and I love the integration of the technology as well. Put in the comments below what do you think of the i5, but if you've enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care, drive safe.